What's good, everyone? Aggie Coach here. All right, man. New video. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get into this. This is the post-game wrap-up. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this game and then introduce the Aggies offensive line to you guys. I got a bunch of different videos that I'm going to be doing this week. I'm probably going to record them tonight and release them as we go throughout the week. So let's get into this, man. Post-game wrap-up. For the big Aggie Eagle Classic, big rivalry game, week 1 opener for the Aggies at home, playing against their FAT8 conference rivals, North Carolina Central University. Man, what a good game. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was, the Aggies coming into this game. North Carolina Central's defense is stout. That their front seven, they control the box, they getting bodies to the ball, they're making big plays at the line of scrimmage. The defensive tackles making big plays, defensive ends making big plays, linebackers coming up making plays in the backfield. Even the free safety was coming up making plays at the line of scrimmage. And the Aggies being a finesse team like they are, and see, that's the thing about the Aggies offense. The Aggies offense is set up to be a finesse offense. So, it's not a big bruiser team. So the way that the offense is set up, they want to spread you out, throw the quick routes. They want to throw the quick slants. They want to throw the quick outs. They want to hit the quick seams. They want to run some off tackle, run some sweeps, run some options, run option pass. That's the kind of thing that the Aggies want to do. And so A&T is always going to have a mobile, slippery quarterback that can make big plays, which leads me to the starting lineup. Now, this was a gamble. Mike Willis is the man. Don't get me wrong. Mike Willis is the man. He is the starting quarterback for the Aggies. And I heard you, John, right? I was following what you were saying too, man, with, question was, what's going to happen with Willis? Is he going to start or, is he going to be on the bench? Nah, Willis is the man. Willis is the starting quarterback. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This freshman quarterback impressed me, right? The freshman quarterback impressed me because he made plays. Like, he showed that he is a playmaker. When the Aggies was down and nobody was making plays, this freshman stepped up and made some big plays, and I did not expect that from him. But, had he not had an opportunity to get in the game and play, I never would have known what he could actually do. Now, I'll admit, Jamie Cox had a shaky first half. The freshman running back, Jamie Cox, he had a shaky first half, but I was a bit more confident with him than I was with the junior Tony Horn. And the thing is, Tony Horn played in season 1, played in season 2, had 2 great seasons, made some big plays. He was definitely a playmaker. And this opener here in season 3, especially at home against your rival, you got to show up and play. You know what I'm saying? You got to show up and play. And Tony Horn did not show up and play. I was really disappointed in his performance, man. He made some bad kickoff returns. He made some bad running plays. He's getting pushed out of bounds a lot, not making big plays, losing yards, just, not holding blocks. Like, he just had a horrible game. And now the way that our system is set up, when an athlete is playing horribly, their morale starts to drop. And when that happens, the coach has to make a decision. Now, I want you guys to understand something. The way that our rule system is set up, and I'm going to show you guys how it works, because I'm getting ready to start doing a series of videos breaking down the FAT8 play style so you guys can see how the FAT8 play style actually works. That's something that I'm getting ready to start doing too. And this is in our playbook. So when a player makes bad plays, there's a chart that tells us after a player makes a number of bad plays, generally it's 2 or 3, depending on what the situation is. But when you check that chart, if that player fumbled the ball twice in a game, for example, that player is going to be making a morale check. And if that player fails the morale check, they're going to have to go see the coach. And then there's also a chart for the coach to see what the coach's response is going to be. And in this case, it was bad for Tony Horn because when I rolled on the chart, it was lost starting position, player sits down for the rest of the game. Now, he was very lucky that when that happened, you know, it was towards the end of the game. But just imagine if he had started out this game playing really poorly in the first quarter and he got set down in the first quarter, he would not have played the rest of the game. And there's not a thing that I could have done about that, because that's just the way that our rule system is set up. That's a part of the pageantry of, you know, FAT8 conference games. The coaches that you guys see on the field. This coach is the defensive coach, and this is Coach Hayes, the head coach. We have defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, the head coach, and then we have athletic trainers as well. And they all have their own special rules in the conference, so they can interact with the players on the sideline. And when players fail a morale check for something stupid that they did in the game, whether they got a bonehead penalty like a personal foul or something like that, they have to go see the coach on the sideline. And there's a chart for that. And, you know, it can be something as simple as sit out for a series, and then he gets ready, is able to come back in the game to play. It could be, it's all right, go ahead and go play. Or it can be as bad as you're done for the rest of the game. Worst case scenario, that player loses his starting position altogether and the backup takes the starting position. So like all of these things are decided without my intervention. All I do is shoot the game. And the reason that I wrote the rules this way, not just to have the drama of college football. I mean, yeah, that's a huge part of it. But the other reason that I did is because when the guys are not here, and I'm playing by myself and I'm playing solitaire, I want to be as non-biased as possible. And in order for that to happen, I like for the coaches on both teams to make the decisions, and all I do is just shoot the game. So that's another reason that the rules are written that way. The other thing too is the way that we look at these teams is we are competitive, but we're not overly competitive. And the focus is, you know, this team against that team. And the focus is not me against Big Lock or me against, you know, whoever's across the table from me. We try to remove ourselves as much as possible from the game and focus primarily on the players on the field. We want all of the attention to be there and not on us. So with this Aggies offensively, man, oh man, in the first half, the Aggies just played horribly in the first half offensively. And Central's defense just showed up, man. They came in, they played, they made some big hits. They was knocking the Aggies around. Jamie Cox gets his very first carry of the game. No, hold on, let me rephrase that. He gets his very first carry of his career, you know, as an Aggie at home. And he runs up on that line on that sweep, and boy, did he get laid out. That was just a huge hit that I just could not believe. He came up and Taylor just tore him up. And on top of that, he fumbled the ball. So luckily for Jamie Cox, because that was an immediate roll on the morale chart. And you think about this. You're in a big game. It's a rivalry game on that. It's the opening game. You're at home. Sellout crowd, right? Coaches is there. Athletic department is there. Alumni association is there. You are a freshman, and you get your first carry in this situation in the red zone for the very first time. And as soon as you touch the ball for the very first time, you put the ball on the ground. Yeah, that sucked. So Luckily for Jamie Cox, man, when I rode on the morale chart to see if he was gonna fail his morale, he passed it. So Jamie Cox was like, okay, so I fumbled the ball, so what? I'm good. I'm ready to go. So he was able to stay in the game and keep playing, and then he turned things around. You know, he got the jitters out and he started playing. Tony Horn on the other end. Tony Horn played a horrible game. And he was failing morale checks left and right, and eventually he ended up getting benched. So that was, you know, just a horrible game for him. Now, John, I was thinking about what you were saying, man, about Mike Willis, and the only reason that Mike Willis didn't really play in this game, he only played a couple snaps. The only reason that he didn't play in this game was because I wanted to give the freshmen an opportunity to show me what they can do, and it probably was not a good idea to do that in a big rivalry game. But I tell you one thing, Demetrius McClain showed up, man. That quarterback showed up. The freshman quarterback made big plays when the rest of his guys couldn't make any big plays. Now, on the other side of the ball, North Carolina Central. Yo, Leon Scruggs is the man. Leon Scruggs is the man. Coming in at 4.9 grams. Freshman running back. First game of the season on the road, sellout crowd. Same scenario. 162 yards rushing. He single-handedly ran through the Aggies offense like it was not, ran through the Aggies defense like it was just not there. 2 huge runs, just incredible, absolutely incredible runner. The other thing that really impressed me is North Carolina Central's offensive line. The offensive line did just an incredible job making holes for Scruggs to make those big plays. And even Billerman, the big bruiser, got in, made some big plays, broke some tackles, made some big runs. Now, Central is set up primarily as a rushing team. So, you know, they did what they're good at. They're good at running the ball. That's what they do. So, Central is just a great running team. And I tell you, man, a lot of schools in the FAT8 conference better watch out for them boys, because that Central team is the truth. That is a good team. The Aggies skate by the skin of their chin. I'm telling you, man, that game was crazy. So, and then defensively, Central just made more mistakes than the Aggies did, and that's really what came down to it. Both teams were evenly matched in this game. You know, no team was better than the other. Did the Aggies have more big playmakers? No, the Aggies didn't have more big playmakers. If you look at the way that game played, okay, Justin Moffitt caught a touchdown pass there in the first half. Moffitt is known for doing that. He did that all in season 2. He made big plays. It takes a good cornerback to cover him and stop him from getting open. He's going to get open and he's going to make big plays. But that was just one big play. It wasn't a game breaker. You know what I'm saying? Leon Scruggs on North Carolina Central team, that joker can be a game breaker. I mean, you think about it, man. He busted 2 big runs for touchdowns in that game. And then on top of that, every time he touched the ball, it was yards gained. And I think when I did the math, he averaged somewhere between 4.5 to 5 yards a carry. So, I mean, he was getting it. So, yeah, I was really, really impressed. And that was behind that offensive line, which leads me to the Aggies offensive line, right? Which I'm going to do another video about the Aggies offensive line because I'm already at 14 minutes and I want to stop here. So, all right, man. So this is the post-game wrap-up. Aggies offensively struggled in the first half. Defensively did okay, but was unable to stop Central's rushing attack. Central, on the other hand, the Aggies was able to exploit some minor weaknesses that Central had, and it wasn't against running because we could not. A&T could not run the ball on Central. They shut the rushing attack down. The Aggies had under 50 yards rushing in the whole game. They shut it down. The only thing, no, I take that back because the Aggies had that big run with McClain, the freshman, made that big 65-yard touchdown run there at the end of the game, and then he had a 20-yard touchdown run like right at the beginning of the third quarter. So the Aggies, now that I think about it, the Aggies had about 100 yards rushing. I need to go back and look at those numbers, but I think McClain got all of the rushing yards though. The Aggies, Tony Horn ain't do nothing the whole game. And Jamie Cox, just, some small runs here or there, but he didn't do much either. The running backs just got shut down altogether. The running backs didn't do a thing. It was McClain that made the big plays, the freshman quarterback. So I'm gonna stop it here because I just thought that I would do a post-game wrap-up really quick so you guys can get a chance to kind of hear my thoughts on what I thought happened here. So yeah, John, don't worry, man. Mike Willis is gonna be playing because the Aggies have game 2. In game 2, they're gonna need Mike Willis because game 2 is gonna be a big game for them. So I'm gonna sign off here, man. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that like button on the way out. Peace.